So from So's Real Thoughts, and today I have a very special video for you all. As you may have not known or known, I've had my blog, So's Real Thoughts, for about 10 years next year, and started my YouTube channel maybe 5 years ago. And this video that you are currently watching is my 300th video. Yes, 300th video. And so it's unbelievable that I have yet on my blog and on YouTube have yet made a video or even a list about my all-time favorite films. So you know what? I am going to do that for you right now. Here are 10 of my all-time favorite films ever, ones that have inspired me as a filmmaker, one that has brought me so much joy as a viewer, and films that I can really go back to again and again, and it is just so timeless and shaped who I am today. And so I am very proud to introduce to you my 10 favorite films of all times right now. Number 1, Fight Club. It's pretty obvious, but yeah, I had to put it on top of my list because it is one film that I cannot stop watching. It's adapted by Chuck Palahniuk's book of the same name. It's about an insomniac office worker who tries to find a new way to change his life, and he crosses paths with a soap maker. Eventually, they end up forming an underground fight club that evolves into something much more. Not only is this film such a staple in just cinephiles in general, but it is one film that time and time again has been proven timeless. There's so many reasons why I love this film. Not only does it have one of the most mind-blowing twists at the end, but its philosophy of Fight Club is still relevant today. And I love how it goes against the grain and against society and what is considered the norm. Honestly, I used to watch this film every single freaking day in college, and I still do now. It really brings out the anarchist, minimalist, and badass in me. I really just love the movie so much, from not only the message and the characters, and obviously Brad Pitt, holy crap, but just David Fincher's vision. I know when the film came out, it completely tanked and it got polarizing reviews, which is mind-boggling, but I'm so glad that it found its cult audience like us to really appreciate the beauty and the genius of it all. Number 2, 8½. I took an Italian neorealism course during college, and I completely fell in love with the genre. And Fellini, first and foremost, his style and his vision and the way he tells his stories really sucked me in, especially 8½, which is about a film director that retreats back to his memories and fantasies. And as a big-time neorealism fan, Fellini is one of my all-time favorites. 8½ is the film that introduced surreal filmmaking as well as a meta storyline to me. I've never seen it be done like that before, and so it really opened my eyes to the possibilities of being a filmmaker, the struggles of being an artist, and he presents it in such a romantic and nostalgic way that I feel him as a filmmaker, it is very loosely based on his life, and him making this film that is mirroring his own, and him trying to confront his feelings of juggling women and his past. And I just thought that was a very powerful medium that works almost as therapy to confront your own demons and whatnot. And Fellini is undoubtedly one of the most powerful and iconic filmmakers whose vision is so singular and quirky, especially when you think about the first scene to the last. Especially the last scene is completely so unreal, and that's what I love about him. Number 3, Lady Snowblood. I had the pleasure of watching this film for the very first time earlier this year when I got a Filmstruck 14-day trial, and I watched it and I instantly knew this is my favorite movie of all time. Based on the manga series of the same name, it recounts the tales of Yuki, a woman who seeks vengeance upon 3 people who raped her mother and killed her mother's husband and son. And you can tell right when you watch this film that it has probably inspired so many other films all the way to Tarantino's Kill Bill. Kill Bill would have not existed without Lady Snowblood, and that is for a fact. You can tell that he copied basically the music, the shots, the action sequences, down to probably the dialogue, and it is quite surprising how much he has technically used as an homage. Lady Snowblood is a dark, mean, and vicious, and one hell of a vengeance film. If you get a chance to see number 2, see it. It is almost just as good as the first one. Meiko Kaji plays Yuki, and she is so beyond brilliant. She's so beautiful in this role, especially in her Japanese garment, and she is fighting, and she's so swift and stealth with her sword, and she gives you the most scariest and beautiful death stares ever. And there's one shot where there is snow falling down on her face. At that moment, I was like, holy crap, this is one hell of a film. Number 4 is Lady Vengeance. Lady Vengeance is about a woman who is newly released from prison after serving the sentence for a murder she did not commit. The film tells her story of revenge against the real murderer. As we all know, Park Chan-wook is a damn genius, and Lady Vengeance is his last film of the Vengeance trilogy, and probably one of the most tragic films of the 3. I really loved this one. I know a lot of people think this is probably the most vicious and fucked up one out of the 3 in a sense because of the children, but it added that much more weight to her story, and it shows the kind of journey that she goes on. And maybe because I don't see enough badass Korean female characters with dense backgrounds and complex characteristics, I really resonated with this character, especially because of everything she was going through. And just the film itself, it's so detail orientated in its production design, the music. You know Park Chan-wook, he's really gonna go 150 with all aspects of his film, and this was yet another great film of his, and one I will always tune into. Number 5, American Honey by Andrea Arnold. The film is about a teenage girl with nothing to lose, and she joins a traveling magazine sales crew and gets caught up in a whirlwind of hard partying, law bending, and young love as she crisscrosses the Midwest with her band of misfits. As much as I love Fish Tank, I loved American Honey that much more, and Andrea Arnold is one filmmaker that I aspire to be like. The way she makes films is a breath of fresh air. I love how interactive and immersive and almost confrontational it is. And she portrays reality like it is, as people like they are from all backgrounds, all sizes. And she deals with stories that are true to reality and that matter and that exists today. And maybe I'm pulling a Quentin Tarantino, but whenever I make films, I think about what Andrea Arnold would do, how she would approach the story. And the way that her stories have affected me, I would love to do that to somebody else. And when I watched her films, I was like, oh my God. Not that I'm really copying you, but I felt like I found my voice, my style, and how I want to approach storytelling in my own way with her influence. And I just, oh man, she's brilliant. American Honey is brilliant. I love it. Number 6, The Matrix. The Matrix is about a computer hacker who learns from mysterious rebels about the true nature of his reality and his role in the war against its controllers. I think the first time I watched The Matrix was probably in the 5th grade, and it was the first film that really made me question my existence and made me see that there are other possibilities besides my own reality, that we can be possessed and we don't have to be in this rat race called life, and that it could be so much more than we really know. And I think the film just fucking blew my fucking brains out, to be honest. And as a grown-up, revisiting that made me love it even more because Keanu, because Neo and Trinity's love, iconic action sequences, Morpheus' drugged out face, and so many things. Along with Fight Club, this is one film that I can see over and over again. And as someone who is starting to really love cyberpunk, this is probably the most well-known cyberpunk movie out there. And I revisit it every so often whenever I'm feeling down, and I just love it that much more, and it keeps me on my toes. It never gets old and is there for you. It makes you think again and again and again the possibilities of life. Number 7, Justin Lin's Better Luck Tomorrow. Better Luck Tomorrow is about a group of overachieving Asian American high school seniors who enjoy a power trip when they dip into extracurricular criminal activities. So the first time I watched it, I was 15, I was over at my friend's house super late, and his brother had a bootleg version of it, and so we were like, I guess we'll give it a go since we've been hearing really great reviews from Sundance. And after he watched it, he just turned to me and he was like, that was weird. And maybe it's because it was the first time we mutually saw a naked female body together, and maybe that was really awkward. But I initially didn't think it was remarkable at all. The storyline, the characters, and maybe because it was so similar to my life, I was like, oh, what was all the fuss? I think years later when we look back at it, especially from my point of view, I really love the film because it was one of the first films with an all Asian American crew, and they were able to be themselves, not caricatures. Some were overachievers, but some were delinquents like Han and Virgil, who felt very similar to the friends that I had in high school, and they were just all like fucked up and deranged and doing stupid ass shit all the fucking time, and we never got to see that represented in media at all. And I think that was the beauty of it. And as a filmmaker who I want to be able to show my own stories, and it was probably the first time I saw something that I felt so similar to my life reflected on the big screen, and it's one of the most fond and cherished films that I will always love. Number 8, The Shining. The Shining is about a family who heads up to an isolated hotel for the winter where an evil spiritual presence influences the father into violence, while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from the past and of the future. Whenever people find out that you're in film, the first question they ask is, what's your favorite film? And I felt so pressured every time that was asked that I created a stock answer, and I always said The Shining because it felt like cultish enough yet prestigious for it to give me merit as a filmmaker. So I was like, yay, yes, The Shining. I'm a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick, and out of all his filmography, I think The Shining really stands out as one of his best, along with 2001, obviously. Adapted by Stephen King's novel of the same name, Stanley Kubrick makes one of the most intricate, layered, haunting film experiences ever. Number 9, Jim Jarmusch's Night on Earth. Night on Earth is an anthology film of 5 different cab drivers in 5 different American and European cities and their remarkable fares on the same eventful night. I adore Jim Jarmusch's movies for its very simple takes on everyday life and everyday people. Particularly this film because I love when strangers come together from all different backgrounds for this one special moment, especially in a cab of all places. I always found it very sweet and touching when I got in a car with somebody because it felt like such an intimate space to share with somebody, especially someone you don't know, whether you are driving them or you're just sitting with them, next to them. And he takes you around the world and shows you the different types of people that you may encounter at night. And there's something very nostalgic and romantic about that. Jim Jarmusch is hands down one of my biggest influences, especially with Coffee and Cigarettes, which inspired me to make my Girl Talk series. I love it how some of the shots are either one takes or very static, and they kind of get you close, get you very intimate, and that feels very special. Last but not least, number 10, Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. In the Mood for Love is about 2 neighbors, a woman and a man, who form a strong bond after they both suspect that their spouses are having an affair. However, they agree to keep their bond platonic as to not commit similar wrongs. This is one film that has broken me, revived me, gave me life, has influenced me in so many ways as a filmmaker, as a viewer, as a person, and he really taps into your inner core to make you dig deep and confront your most bittersweet experiences and to witness one of the greatest love stories unfolding before your eyes, and yet not happening is the most heartbreaking thing ever. The film is perfection on all aspects, from the swoon-worthy soundtrack to the dense production design to the holy crap, the fashion in this film and the acting. Wow. And once you experience this film, you realize that this is why cinema exists. And that's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. So those are my top 10 favorite films of all time, hands down, forever, forever, forever. This was kind of a long one, but I'm so glad I finally made a video of this, because it's been quite a long time and I don't think I've been able to ever sit down and fully form the impossible list. And let me know what your top 10 favorite films are. And thank you so much for tuning in on this epic film journey with me. I cannot believe it's already been 300 videos, and I cannot wait for the next 300 videos with you all. Thank you once again, and be sure to check out my blog, www.sosrealthoughts.com, for more trailer reactions and film reviews and all that good stuff. Anyways, thank you, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.